Good morning, everyone. Very warm welcome to 575th sessions of Empowering Morning Conversations. Yeah, today sir is traveling. Sir is not available. I will handle the today's sessions. For those who all are watching from Facebook, YouTube, it's a friendly reminder why we are here in Empowering Morning Conversations. We are positivity influencers. We are spreading positivity and influence others. We are here every day to support each other, help each other, to make each other stronger. Okay, let's start our sessions today with our Access Consciousness mantra. All of life comes to me with peace, joy, and glory. Yeah, let's repeat 2 more times. All of life comes to me with peace, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with peace, joy, and glory. Okay. Today, I would like to talk about how to set healthy boundaries in relationships. Any thoughts before we start any conversations? We want to share anything today? Yes, ready, sir.
Topic you said?
Good morning, sir. Sir,
Morning. What is the topic you said?
how to set boundaries in relationship?
Okay. I feel that there should not be any boundaries.
No boundaries.
No boundaries. Real relationship, no boundaries.
Real relationship, no boundaries. Okay. I think then I may be wary because I want to set healthy boundaries. Okay. Any other thoughts?
No, if like boundaries would be if you are not influenced properly.
Mm-hmm.
If the person is toxic, so that is where you want to set the boundary.
Okay. Okay. But from my perspective, boundaries in relationships are so important at home, at work. Okay. Without boundaries, you may lose your work-life balance. Okay. We feel that sometimes constantly our family members interact during our important meetings or in our workplace, right? The same way, maybe our boss asking to work for long hours. Okay, so it's important to establish some really healthy boundaries. It's not like unhealthy boundaries, it's like a healthy boundaries from my perspective. Okay, actually it will healthy boundaries in relationships is create mutual respect between individuals. Okay, we are telling that we need honor, trust, vulnerability, gratitude, and allowance in our relationships. Without healthy boundaries, I believe it's not easy to achieve those elements in our life. Okay, so setting boundaries help us to know what is expected in that relationship. Especially, we can respect each other's personal space, comfort level, and limits. Also, the boundaries can look in different in every relationships. For example, we have a unique relationship with our friends. Even within friend circle itself, some friends may have a lot of things they can involve in our personal space. They can give comments, but some kind of friends, they will be in like high-bye relationships, that kind of things. So it can be co-workers, family, our life partner, it can be anything. Okay, so the boundaries will be different in each level. Whatever the relationship, we need to respect their existing boundaries to give each other to space to set new limits, right? To set a healthy boundaries, be open, be vulnerable. Okay, it's like you can tell that, okay, this is affecting me. If you are doing like this, just be open and do this. In this way, you can set some healthy boundaries. Why our relationships boundaries are so important? Any thoughts? Why it's so important?
so that the other person doesn't take advantage of you.
Okay. Okay. Any other thoughts?
I feel it's important to keep boundaries for your own self, to keep
Yes.
your peace. Otherwise, you yourself will be in trouble.
True, true. Boundaries actually are a form of self-care. Okay. We are taking care of our mental health in so many ways. We are going to different places. We are learning a lot of modalities to maintain our self-care, right? This is one of the ways to form a self-care boundaries. For example, if you know your partner's boundaries, okay, then it will easy to know as them as a whole person instead of like, okay, I know only from my perspective. Okay, if you know them, it will be you can form a true connection, especially. A lot of surveys are talking about this relationship boundaries, especially in our working place. Okay, relationship boundaries with your co-workers can be more important. Okay, with family, we may have a different kind of boundaries, but when you are going to workplace, we feel that, okay, this is my limitation. This is how my co-worker need to behave with me. Okay. The lot of surveys are defining that more than 30 to 40% people, office workers, believe their co-workers are too informal at their workplace, in their chat platforms, some other ways, they are crossing their boundaries. People are not comfortable with that. Surveys are defining that. So why this kind of issues are happening? We are not speaking up for ourselves, right? We tell that when we are feeling uncomfortable, we need to raise our voice and tell that, okay, this is not way I expected. Just we need to be open up and communicate with them. So the relationship, I mean, the setting the boundaries, especially in workplace, is so important. Any other thoughts regarding this? Yes, Reddy sir, please.
Shakti, I feel that it's more of WhatsApp groups where you have to set boundaries.
True.
To be peaceful
Yes.
in real life.
True. We are not comfortable. Sometimes the people are, without asking us, just adding into some groups. Yes. True,
And
sir.
forwarding the messages.
That we don't have any control, sir. Really.
So I came out of many groups just for this thing.
Yes. I completely agree with you. Even you are rightly said, I'm in so many groups. Okay, I'm not comfortable receiving that many messages. But you know this, I'm not able to say no and come out. In some groups I'm able to do this.
Yeah.
Some groups I'm just put it in the mute for an year. I won't go even look at those messages. But I'm in that kind of group. Yes, true important, especially in this world, the WhatsApp group, and then a lot of this kind of channels, and it's so important to set boundaries. Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for reminding. I think it's good to remind everyone. Yes, any other thoughts why it's so important? Are you able to see the importance of why you need to set the boundaries in a relationship? Okay.
Yes, I can give you some examples in my real life.
Yes, sir.
I've been tuned so much. I'll never be disturbed when I'm in office by my spouse.
Yes.
It is urgent.
Yes.
And after coming back from office at home, nobody will calls me. No business calls will receive after 5:36.
Yes.
This I've been following for ages. So people are tuned to that.
Exactly, sir. Initially, you have set up that kind of environment to people and everyone around you. So they are following that. So you set up the healthy boundaries.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Example I'm giving you.
Yes, sir. So absolutely, you are right. Most of the people are not doing that. Then they don't have a work-life balance. After coming home, they will keep doing work. They may get office calls and continue to work. Even after reach office, some personal calls will be there. They will interrupt during meetings. All those stuff is happening
And
for a lot of people.
for the first time, I got my mobile number printed on my visiting card. Till now, no, I've never got my mobile number printed on my visiting card.
Wow, that's one of the best way. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your tips. Actually, I think it will be helpful for a lot of business people. Thank you so much. Yes. Any other thoughts? If not, let's move forward to the next one. Different types of boundaries are there. Within our relationship, it's not easy to maintain only one kind of boundaries. You need more than one or two boundaries. Okay. No single boundary can encompass our needs. Actually, for example, what types of boundaries are there? Emotional boundaries, physical boundaries, intellectual boundaries, financial boundaries, sexual boundaries. These all are 5 different types of boundaries. Okay. Emotional, intellectual, physical, financial, sexual. Within one boundary itself, you cannot define. So you need one or two, at least, boundaries in each relationship. You need to maintain that. Okay. What is emotional boundaries? Any thoughts? What is emotional boundaries? How you need to set up that boundaries? Okay. Emotional boundaries have to do being clear on what's yours, what's not yours. Okay. Your emotions well-being are within your control, regardless of what's happening for other persons. Sometimes we may end up like if something is going on other side, we may take it so much and then we'll treat it like it's our own. But it's not that. We need to set some kind of boundaries. That emotional boundaries is too important, especially in workplace. Okay, if something's happened with our coworker, our manager may be mad at that person due to some reasons. Okay, we will take it at our personal. We will start developing some negative feelings towards the manager. Okay. We don't know what's happened between that coworker and manager, what's going on. We don't know the full story of that. But just looking at that particular moment, we will start creating some negative feelings towards the manager and then frustration towards that person. We will create that. So we need to set the emotional boundaries, especially when you have a kid as a parent. Okay, we'll feel that, okay, if it's kids, some parents are there, if some kids started crying, that they feel that, oh, I cannot handle this, so I will buy. If my kid is started crying, I cannot handle that one. Yes, Rama sir, please.
Yeah, so emotional boundaries are important because, first of all, majority of the time we feel more negative emotions than positive emotions, right? So
Yes.
if the other person is going through negative emotions, it will, if you don't have the boundaries, it will keep affecting you. That is the first thing. Second thing is, even if you want to help the other person to come out of the emotional issues, the negative emotional issues, you need to have the boundary and separate yourself and stabilize your emotions, and then you can help the other person to come out of it. So
True.
hence the emotional boundary is very, very important. And also to add to the previous question that why boundary is required. If there is no boundary, you cannot establish the relationship in the first place. So to establish a right relationship, first thing is you should have the boundary. Only then you can establish a relationship at all. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I want to add. Thank you, Shakti.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So just one question regarding this setting up that relationship, right relationship, that I'm having concerns, sir. Is it
Yeah.
right or to have a happy relationship?
Appropriate relationship need not be happy. Relationship will never be always happy.
Okay,
It has to be appropriate relationship.
okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Any thoughts, any questions regarding this emotional boundaries? Okay. Ultimately, as Rama sir said, emotional boundaries and relationships are about maintaining our individuality. We all have our own thoughts, feelings. We also can care about each other without losing ourselves, sense of self. Okay, so creating emotional boundaries so important. The second one, intellectual boundaries. Any ideas, any thoughts about this intellectual boundaries, what it is?
So, intellectual boundaries
Yes,
means
definitely, sir.
regarding something we are thinking creative or on something. That means intellectually we are overthinking to avoid overthinking or something, or how we are utilizing our intellect to judge something. That
Okay.
might be.
Okay,
Right.
okay. Yeah, some extent it, you are right, sir. Yes, thanks. Yes, Arvind, sir.
Yeah, morning, Shakti. Just a little backward. Ramaji said about appropriate relationship. So, can it be a little more explained? What is appropriate relationship?
Okay. Rama, sir, are you able to answer? Rama, sir?
Uh,
Okay, I think he's driving or some stuff.
I
Can you
understand the same
repeat the question?
because
Sorry, I didn't hear the I didn't hear the question. Can you repeat, please?
appropriate.
yeah, Rama said. So you talked about appropriate relationship.
Yeah.
So can you expand a bit on that?
Yeah. So what is an appropriate relationship? See, for what happens is typically the typical problem all of us have is we go by what is already established, very old established relationships, like the roles.
Right.
Like there is a standard established.
Sir, we are not able to hear you. I think we lost.
Yeah. Cannot hear, Rama sir. Need to repeat.
They're all established in a particular way, and we blindly go by that. So what happens is that doesn't work. If you go by unconsciously whatever is already established in the society and think that that is the right way, right relationship, it doesn't work. So what is appropriate relationship? You have to explicitly look at you. You may be a boss, you may be a colleague. You have to freshly look at each person as a human being and look at what is the actual what to say, living and working relationship, and explicitly talk about it and keep reviewing and modifying instead of assuming the unconscious definition already given in the society.
Correct.
That's
So-
what I mean. Relationship.
Yeah, so if I expand a little bit more on that, so it is saying that a person can conquer the world, but he gets defeated in his own, family or very close relationships. So how do you see this as part of when you are in a family? Because there you take all the things for unconsciously. So how do you
Exactly.
suggest in that context?
It has to be openly discussed and properly understood and discussed and practice and accept. So what happens is, particularly when it comes to family, we take it for granted that this is the way, and it is invariably it is wrong. Invariably
Correct.
it hurts everybody. So you need to see, basically you don't focus, you take it for granted, you don't focus on the family, and you don't focus. Similarly, if you come very closer, you don't focus on yourself.
Correct.
The more the distance of the relationship, you are more clearer about it. Closer the distance, your confusion is more and more unconsciousness. So the only way is to bring focus, put some attention, take some time, give priority, and start talking about it instead of assuming.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raman sir. Thank you, Arvind sir. Those who are joined late, today sir is not available. Today's topic is how to set healthy boundaries in relationships. We discussed so far why it's so important to set the boundaries in relationships, different kinds of boundaries in relationships. We are discussing on that. Yes. The second one, we discussed about emotional boundaries. Now we are moving forward. We are talking about intellectual boundaries. What is intellectual boundaries? We are discussing on that. Everyone has a different beliefs, ideas, and values. This intellectual boundaries can help us to respect one's another person's point of view. Okay, this is so important because most of the time we are not respecting another person's point of view. We feel that, okay, this is my point of view, this is how it need to be implemented, my point of view is the correct point of view. Even though we have rights to share our opinions and feelings, but we mostly will put our points of view on others persons. Any person may not be comfortable to take that point of view and move forward. Okay, so important to set this intellectual boundaries. Intellectual boundaries also help us to feel more secure. Okay, that's also is another viewpoint. Any thoughts, any other points anyone want to add it here regarding this intellectual boundaries?
How would you know how, like, what is you? We may have some pre-notions or preconceived thoughts that this is right and this is wrong, and it's in our mind that we want this, and as per our rules we set our thoughts. But who's to tell us from which is right to wrong? Like when you said you have to think about other person's point of view. Okay, I may sit and talk to that person, like, okay, understand their point of view, but how do you know they are right or we are right?
It's not about because it depends upon the situations, depends upon the people, depends upon the circumstances. It will be because when we are thinking about that, see why we have started having this kind of arguments. We may trying to achieve something common, or we may feel that, okay, for better. Okay, from our perspective we feel that, okay, this is right. From other person's perspective, this is from their thing that it's right. Okay, we go and brainstorming our ideas. Okay, this is the way I'm looking at, this is are the plus points I'm looking at, that just go and convey. Same way the other person need to come up with their points. Okay, then you are able to see the clear picture. Until unless we are putting our own thoughts and then how we are defining this is how, I think without that, I think it's not easy, ma'am. We need to be so open and vulnerable to go and discuss. In that way we can achieve that. Here it's not like this person is right, that person is right. What is right for that situation, what is right for that circumstances, we need to go for it. Yes, Reddy sir, please.
That is exactly all behavior. That's what I
Yes, most of the people are struggling with that. Yes, I am right. Yes, yes, sir. Thanks for reminding that.
I didn't understand that. Can that be repeated? I
Ma'am,
didn't know what the register meant.
So that it is difficult for me to explain, but you can go through the last 6 classes, you will understand.
Okay.
Yes, Neena ma'am, actually, sir discussed about this, how to deal with conflicts, very detailed sessions. Okay.
Okay.
You can go to sir's YouTube channel.
Okay.
You can see that he clearly put a lot of discussions, spent detailed discussions, 5 sessions.
Okay. Do you know the
Yeah.
session numbers?
The five from 573, from 565 to 573, ma'am. I think.
Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot.
There are few sessions.
Thank
Yeah,
you
just
very
go
much.
and check it
Thank
out,
you.
ma'am. Yes,
Thank
please.
you, Chakku. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Yes, let's move on to the next one. Physical boundaries. Okay. Physical boundaries also important type of relationship boundaries. Okay. We may have different levels of comfort when it comes to physical touch. If it is a family member, we'll be okay. If it is in a workplace, we may not be comfortable. Okay. Others may not be appropriate to physical touch in some contexts, especially in the kids. We need to teach that, right? Physical boundaries. Speaking up with your physical boundaries at work, with your friends is so important. Whether others can understand that your boundaries or not doesn't matter. You need to go speak up for yourself. Okay, I'm not comfortable with this. It's so important to establish physical boundaries in any relationship. Make sure you give your friends, co-workers space to voice their personal limits too. Okay, it's not only yours. You need to voice up for others as well in this, especially in this kids thing. Physical boundaries. Any thoughts regarding this physical boundaries? I think nowadays in school also they are teaching this physical boundaries to the kids. Good touch, bad touch, all those stuff. Any thoughts? Anyone want to add any points? Okay. If not, let's move on. The next one, financial boundaries. I believe everyone need this financial boundaries, especially conversations about money itself. It's be a big tough one. Okay, on top of that, it's setting this financial boundaries. It's really needed one. Why is the financial boundaries are so important in any relationship? Any thoughts want to share? Okay, especially setting up the financial boundaries in all the relationships is so important, especially with your life partner. Okay, you need to be open and vulnerable to discuss about this. Okay, this is how my financial say that, I don't know the exact word. This is how my you can show your financial statement, all those stuff. Okay, this is how we need to manage all those. You can discuss. Some people will be comfortable discuss with life partners. Some people will discuss with their parents. Okay, depends upon each relationship. You may set the boundaries. What happened in most of the cases, especially it happened to me. When I'm with my colleagues, okay, they used to go for happy hours. Okay, I won't drink, but Fridays I'm okay to join. Even though I won't drink, I will go over there. I will sit over there for a few hours. Then I will come back. But weekends I'm not be comfortable as well as to going over there for happy hours, some stuff, right? But they used to push me. Oh, Shakti, please come. But you need to say clear no to them. That kind of, because I'm not comfortable, even I won't drink, then why I need to go over there and spend money on that, especially when I'm not comfortable. Okay, So setting up that sometimes constantly some friends will go and take you to the costly restaurants. You may not feel comfortable. Once in a while, you may okay, but every day it's not comfortable. That kind of boundaries, you need to be clearly say no to that. Okay. You need to consider about your financial goals, whether you are ready for that. Okay. It's all depends upon you. Okay. You need to set the healthy boundaries, especially with friends and co-workers. Please. It's not only friends and co-workers at home as well. Okay. What's the limitation to spend for a month? Everything. You need to set the healthy financial boundaries. You need to consider everyone's opinions and set this financial boundaries. Okay, the last one, sexual boundaries. When it comes to physical intimacy, sexual boundaries shouldn't be ignored. Most of the people is ignoring that one nowadays, and lot of divorces are coming because of this sexual boundaries issues. Okay, so discussing those with your partners is so important, and setting up that limits is so important. You need to speak up regarding this sexual boundaries. This is I believe for the relationship, especially the intimacy relationship, it's so important to discuss about this sexual boundaries. Okay, so for any questions regarding this types of boundaries, the importance of that boundaries, any thoughts, any questions?
Hi,
Yes,
think
yes, Praveen.
Rama sir said about that emotional boundaries and what is it, appropriate something relationship, no?
Yes,
So
appropriate.
I felt, yeah, it should be that is sustainable, maybe relationship. I felt because as per our society culture and all, we concern most of the time whenever we are say so. Better to be in the sustainable that type of relationships, and maybe even if it is given happy or yeah, as he said, it will not be all the time giving happy. So that's the one point I felt. Second, this intellectual, yeah, it also very important means most of the time there will be conflicts happens because we are not setting that intellectual boundaries. Okay, thank you.
True, sir. Yes, thanks. Okay, anyone want to share anything so far what we discussed? Okay, if not, this we will go and discuss the solutions, how to set healthy boundaries, right? First one, a lot of ways we can set the healthy boundaries, as Ramazar mentioned. So if you're looking for appropriate relationship, these boundaries are so important, right? Get real with yourself. Even we might not even realize that we are lacking boundaries. Okay, we feel that okay, everything is go smooth, it's fine. Okay, until we feel that sometimes we are feeling overwhelmed, and then constantly it's draining our energy. Then only we feel that, oh, okay, I think we need to set boundaries. Okay, so we need to be real with yourself. Ask those questions. Okay, why I'm so exhausted now? What is the next step? Okay, if you are feeling so overwhelmed always. Okay, so be real with yourself. And then choose your battles. Actually, the battles may be a big word. Okay, but what is so important for you? You want to grow in your life, you want to achieve your goals. If you are not setting any healthy boundaries in your relationship, just you need to, most of the times it will be you may lose your work-life balance, you may lose your focus, you may not be a protective one. Okay, so instead of doing all those things, just setting up the healthy boundaries and you move forward, you focus on your goals, that would be great. Okay, so choose wisely. And then stay away from people who take advantage of you. Yes, Rama sir.
Yeah, so the classical example of intellectual boundary
Yes, sir.
is I may disagree with you, but I need not be disagreeable, right? I need not always agree with you for
Yes.
having the good relationship. but I have to have the boundary that you may disagree with me, but still the relationship is on.
Yes,
Yeah, that's one of the example of intellectual boundary.
true. We are no need to accept. We are accepting your point of view. You are not agree or disagree with them. That's also is a relationship, right?
Rather be in allowance. Be in allowance, because once you say accept,
Be in
you
allowance.
may also agreeing. But be
Okay.
in allowance. You have your point of view. I have my point of view. But both
Yes.
may be right. Both may be wrong. So that's okay.
Okay.
Basically, it's agree to disagree.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yes, agree to disagree. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Rama sir. Thank you. Yeah, let's continue. Yeah, the third one, stay away from people who take advantage of you. Okay. Unfortunately, there are some people who will always take advantage of us, our kindness. Okay, will come and, oh, okay, do this, arrange this money, that kind of things. Okay, once you realize that they are taking advantage of you, just be open and vulnerable, communicate with them. Okay, still if they have started taking advantage of you, it's better you can mentally distance yourself from by setting up boundaries and stay away from them. Okay, the most important things, we know that we are setting up the boundaries, but we need to communicate with them. That's the hardest part. Even though we are setting up the boundaries, we are not communicate with them. It's the hardest part. Okay, sometimes we'll feel that, okay, for you this is the limit, especially with the co-workers or friends. Okay, we'll feel that, okay, in my mind I may decided, but to going and communicate with them, I feel that it's so hard. How the person will take, I'm not coming for this kind of restaurants for lunch, for happy hours, something like how they will take it. It's so hardest part. Okay, but until you go and communicate with them, they won't get it right. They will think that you are okay and you are comfortable to come over there. They will keep doing this. So even though it's the hardest part, you need to take action. Okay, even they won't stop you unless you take action. So communicate your boundaries. Okay, we don't need to be so rude or so harsh. Okay, you may feel that, okay, right now I'm having too much on my plate, I cannot allocate time for you. Okay, maybe I will put some other time. Even though I'm ready to spend this much time, okay, I can give only 30 minutes. Okay, we can do this, or only I can spend this much amount. You can put it in very nicer way. Okay, the another most important, the last one, is get comfortable saying no. Okay, most of the time we are so used to that saying yes for everything. Okay, saying no, it's not an easy, but you need to be used to that, comfortable with that. Once you started practicing this saying no, okay, a lot of issues will be resolved. Okay, so follow these things. Hope any questions so far? Any thoughts? Yes, Reddy sir.
Shakti, you said avoid people who are not
Yes.
within your boundaries or whatever it is. But
Who take advantage of you?
yeah, but at the same time, if you avoid people, you will not look into possibilities. You may lose.
True, sir. The first thing when you seeing this, people are taking advantage of you. Okay, you feel that you need to set boundaries and you need to communicate with them first. Even after setting up the boundaries, after you communicate with them very openly, still they started taking advantage of you, then you can stay away from them mentally. That's what I meant.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, sir. Yes, Rama sir.
Yeah, so boundary doesn't mean that always you know put something as a kind of hurdle. Boundary also means that you open up. So unless you know what is the boundary, you cannot be open as well.
Mhm.
So boundary doesn't mean that you always keep it closed.
Yes.
Okay, boundary also means you open it. Unless you know your boundary, you don't know where to open it.
Yeah. We need to be clear with
Yeah.
what is my boundary.
Yeah, boundary
Yes.
by default, we think that boundary means, oh, you just close. You don't allow anybody else to approach you. That's not the boundary. The boundary means I know what is my boundary, my limits, and I allow other people to access me, and I open up as well. And
Yeah,
when
just
yeah.
Sorry, sir. Please go ahead.
That's it. I think that's
Okay.
what it's a boundary. Always, probably we negatively take it up, saying that boundary means you form it up and don't allow, close it. That's not what we are saying. Boundary means you should be able to open to allow people to cross the boundaries as well, with
Yes.
mutual consent, with proper understanding. And then, so sometimes, so it is, you take the example of the house. Let's say house is your boundary, right? So that doesn't mean that you keep it closed always. You open it up for your friends, guests, and people to come in, but not
Yes.
anytime and every time, and you don't keep it open always, but you allow as and when required. So that's what I wanted to say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, very nicely put it, sir. Thank you so much. Yes. Please,
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
that is a nice point. Boundaries, we know the boundaries and we are allowing purposefully to build some relation because of keep some relation and all. And I felt about saying no or yes might be because we don't have that much of boundary concern of the another person, then we are feeling that what he will feel. That's why we are all the time intended to say yes, because we are not we are aware about the limits sometimes, but maybe the another person is not aware about the limits. How we'll manage that one? We don't care.
Yeah. So because you don't know the boundary, you don't know where your house ends, you think others' house also yours, right? So that's the importance of boundary.
Yes.
You
Yes.
should know the boundary of yourself and your house. Otherwise, by unknowingly, unconsciously, you go and land up in their house in the middle of the night, right? Because you don't know the boundary. But if you know the boundary, you will go tell them and then go and then chit chat and come back.
Yeah,
And
if another person is not knowing, yeah, it is about us. We know the boundaries, and another person is not knowing the boundary. That's the thing. You have to answer.
It can be either way. No, the other person may know the boundary, you may not know. I may not know.
True.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Raman sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, boundaries are pillar of success in any relationships. Setting up the healthy boundaries are so important. Okay. Yeah, let me quickly summarize this one. Just 1 second. Let me share my PowerPoint. I prepared something, but I didn't share it with you all. You are able to see my screens? Okay. Okay, today we are discussed about this, how to set this healthy boundaries. Quick summary. We discussed why the boundaries are important and different types of boundaries and what are the ways, different types of boundaries, emotional boundaries, intellectual boundaries, physical, financial, and sexual boundaries. And then how to set these healthy boundaries in any relationships. Get real with yourself, choose your battles, stay away from people who take advantage of you, communicate your boundaries. That's the most important step. Get comfortable saying no. Yes, this is the quick summary. Hope today's session was useful to you. Yes, I think today no one is there to share there. Yes, ready, sir. Hope today's session was useful somehow.
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
Tried our best to share your thoughts. Thank you,
Yes.
Shakti.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Before closing today's sessions, anyone want to share anything?
Where are the Shires?
No one is here, Hasina ji. Kudan sir is busy with some expo work next
Oh,
2 or 3 days.
okay.
Yeah. Hope Betri sir will be back next Monday.
Okay.
Other than that, no one is here.
All right.
If anyone want to do anything, we can do. Otherwise, let's close the session.
Right.
Yes. Thank you, Hasina ji.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Shakti.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Then see you all tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.